like slightly tapping the ball. Her body isn't touching Breanna Stewart. Her arm isn't touching Breanna Stewart. There was clearly zero contact here.
To the point where even LeBron posted on X saying, "I'm sorry, but that wasn't a foul."
ESPN just dropped a bombshell about the WNBA Finals, and it's way worse than we thought. They're saying the game might have been rigged. Yeah, you heard that right, rigged. Before we move on, I'd like to ask you a small favor. If you appreciate this content, please take a second to like this video and subscribe to our channel. It makes such a huge difference to us. Thank you so much. Now, back to the video. We're talking about a foul call in the last 6 seconds that changed everything. Breanna Stewart got 2 free throws that sent the game to overtime, but here's the thing, she might have traveled before that 4, maybe even 5 steps without dribbling. How did the refs miss that?
She at least jumps 1, 2, 3. Oh my gosh. She at least takes 4 steps.
Picture this. 6 seconds left on the clock. Liberty down by 2. The ball's in Breanna Stewart's hands, and the entire arena is holding its breath. Stewart's got the weight of New York on her shoulders as she makes her move. Here's how it went down. Stewart catches the inbound pass at the top of the key. She takes 1 dribble, then another. The Lynx defense is swarming, but Stewart's eyes are locked on the rim. She takes a step, then another, and suddenly she's airborne. The crowd's on its feet, hearts pounding as the ball leaves her fingertips. But then, silence. The shot clanks off the rim, and for a split second, it looks like the Liberty's championship dreams are over. The Lynx players start celebrating, thinking they've clinched it. The crowd's stunned, some fans already heading for the exits. And that's when it happened. Out of nowhere, a whistle cuts through the chaos. Everyone freezes. Did you hear that? Yeah, a foul call in the final seconds of a WNBA Finals game. The refs are pointing at Napheesa Collier, saying she made contact with Stewart on the shot. Let's break this down in slow-mo. From one angle, it looks like Stewart might have gotten a little nudge. But switch to the baseline cam, and you see daylight between them.
Everyone's looking like, what? That was a foul? What foul?
Like slightly tapping the ball. Her body isn't touching Breanna Stewart. Her arm isn't touching Breanna Stewart. There was clearly zero contact here.
The side angle? Even more confusing. It's like one of those optical illusions where you can't tell if the players are even in the same zip code. Now let's talk about Collier's defense. She's got her hands up, feet set, looking textbook perfect, but the refs saw something none of us did. And just like that, Stewart's at the line with a chance to tie it up.
Come of arguably the most important game for the entire WNBA season, and you do not overturn this call.
So did ESPN really drop a bombshell about the WNBA Finals being rigged? Here's the thing, they didn't come right out and say it, but when you've got commentators and analysts raising eyebrows on national TV, you know something's up. They're not just questioning this one call, they're looking at the whole game with a magnifying glass. And the players, oh man, they were not happy. Lynx coach Cheryl Reeve was furious, gesturing wildly at the refs. You could read her lips, and trust me, it wasn't good call, sir.
You know, it's a shame that officiating, had such a hand in a series like.
On the other side, Liberty players were trying to keep straight faces, but you could see the relief mixed with disbelief. As Stewart stepped to the line, you could cut the tension with a knife. The crowd was a mix of cheers and boos, depending on which jersey they were wearing. And just like that, with 2 swishes, we're headed to overtime. But here's where it gets really interesting. This wasn't just any foul call. This was the spark that lit a fire under the whole "is the WNBA rigged" debate. And trust me, we're just getting started. Because what happened next in overtime? That's a whole other level of crazy. Alright, so we've got a controversial foul call sending us to overtime, but that's just the tip of the iceberg. What if I told you there's a stat from this game that's so outrageous, it's never happened before in WNBA Finals history? Get ready, because this free throw situation is about to make your jaw drop. Let's talk numbers for a second. During the regular season, the Liberty and the Lynx were pretty evenly matched when it came to free throws. They typically shoot around 15 to 20 per game. Nothing crazy, right? Well, buckle up, because Game 5 just threw those averages out the window. In this final showdown, the Liberty stepped to the line a whopping 25 times. 25! And the Lynx, they only got 8 free throw attempts. That's not just a gap, it's a Grand Canyon-sized chasm. We're talking about a difference that's so big, it's making people wonder if the refs were watching the same game we were.
Nobody wants, like, not even fans want to see a game ended because of a call that the referees made.
Now, let's break this down. It wasn't just one or two calls that led to this insane disparity. Throughout the game, there were moments where you'd swear the refs were seeing things, like when Sabrina Ionescu drove to the basket and got the whistle, even though replays showed she barely got touched, or when Betnija Laney somehow drew a foul while she was the one doing all the pushing. These weren't just any free throws, they were momentum changers. Every time the Lynx started to build a lead, bam, another whistle, another trip to the line for the Liberty. It was like watching a boxing match where one fighter had to keep one hand tied behind their back. The Liberty capitalized on every opportunity, sinking free throw after free throw, while the Lynx struggled to find their rhythm. And you know it's bad when even NBA superstars can't keep quiet. Social media was blowing up with players from the men's league calling out the refs. They're not just questioning this game, they're putting the whole WNBA's officiating under the microscope. When you've got guys who play at the highest level saying something's fishy, you know it's serious.
To the point where even LeBron posted on X saying, "I'm sorry, but that wasn't a foul."
But here's the kicker, this free throw gap isn't just unusual, it's unprecedented in WNBA Finals history. We're talking about a championship game here, the pinnacle of the season, and we've got numbers that look like they belong in a mismatched regular season blowout. It's the kind of stat that makes you do a double take and wonder if someone made a typo. Cheryl Reeve, the Lynx coach, she wasn't having any of it. After the game, she went off about the WNBA's challenge system. She's saying they need to bring in a third party to make calls on these crucial plays.
We have got to change our challenge rules, and the officials doing the game should have a third party, because that was not a foul.
When a coach is basically saying, we can't trust the refs to get it right, you know we've got a problem. So where does this leave us? We've got a WNBA Finals game that'll go down in history, but not for the reasons anyone wanted. It's got people questioning everything. The integrity of the game, the fairness of the officiating, even the league itself. And as we look at the bigger picture, we've got to ask, what does this mean for the future of the WNBA? Alright, let's talk about the one foul call that's got everyone losing their minds. It's that phantom foul on Stewart in the final seconds. That call didn't just change the game, it might have changed the whole WNBA. This controversy is like a ticking time bomb for the WNBA's credibility. Fans are questioning everything, from the refs to the league itself. It's not just about one game anymore, it's about trust in the sport. So here's the million-dollar question. Was this game fairly won, or was there something fishy going on? Take a good look at all the evidence we've laid out. The crazy free throw numbers, the questionable calls, the player reactions. What do you think? Is this just part of the game, or are we seeing something that needs to change? The ball's in your court now.